Hello everyone, welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. This is Nareen and it's time for a Mindful Monday. So really to start off Mindful Monday, I just hope that everyone here is having a great Monday. To talk about my Monday, I would say that it went surprisingly well. Whatever I was anticipating or getting scared of yesterday actually wasn't as bad when I think about it. So I'm pretty happy with how things progressed today. But more so than that, I'm just very excited that this week is starting out to feel pretty nice as of now. So I'm very excited that this week started off well, and that going forward, I think I'll be able to do quite a few things, um, both personally, professionally, and everywhere else. So, one thing that I did want to discuss, especially today, was just focused more on the idea of when you are maybe anticipating something very bad, you know generally the end result doesn't happen to be as bad. I know i know that I used to do that quite often, especially in college, when I would think that, oh yeah, that I did that exam very poorly, or that went really really badly for me, so I'm scared that I'll get like one of the worst scores. And usually that wasn't generally the case. Sometimes it was, but not all the time. So really, rather than think about anything that is going to be bad in the worst case scenario, more so than that, rather than worrying yourself or really focusing on all the negativity that might be coming ahead, more so than that, I feel that being able to focus on something else, diverting your mind, and really focusing on things that will make you happy, right? Maybe the outcome or the aftermath of whatever you're anticipating, uh, would definitely work a lot better, right? The bad deed is done, that there are going to be consequences, but don't think about the consequences as such. Think about what is going to happen as a result of the consequences. And I'm pretty sure the feeling you get out of that aspect will be a lot closer to what the result is. And that was very much something that I realized today. Although, yes, I was maybe 3 minutes late to yoga, so you know, I'd say that's probably the worst thing that ended up happening today. But of course, with that said, I do want to know what your thought is about if there is something negative that you are anticipating. How do you try to calm yourself down, right? A lot of times what ends up happening is the end result isn't as bad, right? And generally the one thing that does end up happening is, because we psych ourselves up, we do end up going into the experience with the hopes that the end result won't be as bad. But honestly, that does not seem like the most mindful thing to do. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite. And really, you can spend that little bit of time maybe focusing on something else, maybe focusing on something a little more positive, just because a lot of times, when we keep thinking negative things, or we keep visualizing all of this negativity taking shape, it ends up creating a lot of negative feelings as well, that sometimes do need to be released as well. So rather than do that, I would say that think more about the aftermath of when the worst thing has happened. And the reasoning for that is just so you can actually imagine something that is slightly more positive than the actual result. And as a result, you're not building up this negativity, right? I mean, one of the more one of the goals that I have for at least this series, the Mindful Monday, is to try and have more positive thoughts, more positive more positive feelings to be shared with everyone. So my question for you today especially is, how do you try to limit the amount of negativity you feel in a single day, right? How do you end up just figuring or not figuring out, but how do you end up remaining positive? How do you end up remaining positive throughout the day and try to limit the negativity in your day-to-day tasks, just so you can feel a little calmer throughout the day, right? One of the things that is very important, one of the things that is obviously well known for us, is that we as humans are addicted to stress. And while that does have certain positive benefits, there are definitely quite a few negative impacts as well. And so one of the best things to do is to try and limit the amount of stress we are creating by limiting the number of negative thoughts we have. So yes, please do share your thoughts, your insights, your experiences about how you limit your negative thoughts, how you limit thinking negatively about something that is going to happen, so that there is a little less negativity coming from your side. So with that said, this is Naren Zaibtamas. I am Naren, and I do hope that your week started off very well. But with that said, here's me wishing you a good night, sweet dreams, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.